Hi everybody, I'm Zilla Blitz and welcome to our August 2022 channel update. Now this is a 10 to 15 minute ramble where we take a look at some of the numbers behind the scenes at the channel, talk a little bit about what's gone on over the previous month, talk about the plans for the upcoming month, and then usually take a little bit to kind of ramble and meander and think a little bit about some things that I'm bouncing around in my head for the past month or so. Let's jump right in and get started. How was July? A quick shift in how we can look at these numbers too. YouTube now provides content creators with monthly kind of recaps. So we can look at the numbers for the previous month rather than the numbers for the previous 28 days. So that's what we're going to do going forward. So we can compare July to June. How did we do in July compared to in June would be the question to look at. And good news, even though we had less output, and I'll talk about that, the numbers improved a lot. So kind of second consecutive month that the numbers have gone up in a row. In June of 2022, we had 51,000 views over the course of the month. July, 53,000 views. So a small, modest increase, which I'm actually really happy about because I'll talk a little bit about when we get to one of the third numbers here, or the fourth number perhaps. Likewise, total viewing time, previous in June was 5.8 thousand hours. In July, 6,000 hours. And both of these, the 53,000 views and the 6,000 hours, are channel records, PRs, as if you would. So happy about those. Subscribers continue to grow as well. We crossed the 3,500 mark, and we've gone from 3,466 subscribers as the time of creating the channel update for July to 3,741 subscribers as we kind of get into the early days of August here. With luck, perhaps potentially even reaching 4,000 by the end of this month for the next update. Maybe that'd be a push, but we'll see what happens. Creating content, however, not the greatest news. In June, I created 31 videos, which was a record for production for a month. I felt really good about that. And July started out really well. The first half of July was really good, but then the back half of July kind of faded to nothingness. And I'll talk a little bit about that, but ended up making 18 videos. So my goal was to make 30, so we failed in that one. But I'm still, for all things considered, let's talk about it now. So why the drop in output? Well, I had to spend a little bit of time away from home, a little bit of travel for a family trip. And as with that, like it seems to happen with vacations for me now, is that I end up working twice as much the 2 days before I go away, and then twice as much the 2 days after I get back. So if I have like a 4-day break, I still do just as much work. It's just all on the days before I go and then the days after I come back. So that kind of knocked out like 5 or 6 days of creating content. And then when I came back, I just kind of thought, I haven't taken a break for a while. I mean, went like 50 something days with making a video every day. And I said, wow, I really haven't taken a break for a while for a reason just to take a break. You know, there was a stretch in April and May where I really struggled to create videos because life circumstances were really overwhelming. But I hadn't really just stopped and rested for a little bit. So I took like 4 or 5 days to stop and rest. And hence, July's output went down from hopefully a video a day to 18 videos over the course of the month. So all in all, though, I think that was really good. I wasn't feeling burnt out or anything, but it was nice to step away and just kind of pause for a second with creating content and kind of think about things and then come back refreshed and stuff like that. So that's the story of output. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how the channel's gone in July. A little bit, I mean, I don't want to beat myself up, right? You got to be nice to yourself, right? So I'm not going to beat myself up about having a drop in output. I am hoping for a big August coming up though, because I do think that kind of creating content is good for building a skill. I enjoy it and all those kinds of things as well. Okay, so what happened in July? Well, the video numbers were down a little bit compared to June, but ended up making three SnowRunner episodes. So kind of the three dimensions, if you would, of the channel in the moment are kind of simulation, driving simulation types of things, tabletop wargaming, and then PC strategy games. And I would throw sports simulation games in there as well. So 3 snow in the kind of the category of driving simulations, 3 SnowRunner episodes. That continues to go on pretty well. I'm really enjoying that. Euro Truck Simulator 2 made 2 videos, and then American Truck Simulator made 2 videos. So still kind of have on total 7 videos in that driving simulation category. 7 videos of tabletop wargaming. Ended up finishing the Nevsky series, which I really enjoyed making. That was a really fun game to play and a really fun game to play for making a video. So that was super fun. Really enjoyed that. And then did 3 unboxings. Save South Vietnam, review copy of Save South Vietnam, review copy of Fire in the Mountain, and then Flashpoint South China Sea, which is a new game that I just received a little while ago as well. So that was good. And then PC strategy games, got a few review copies, ended up making 3 videos for PC strategy games, took a look at Second Front, and then also just took a new look now at Desert Rats, that I think came out in August here, and then did another video on Attack at Dawn, which is a really cool game. So I'm really liking this kind of to digging into some of the PC war games and PC strategy games as well. So all in all, I felt like a pretty good balance for the month, and pretty happy with that. Now, we had 3 goals. So how did we do on our goals? So every month I set 3 goals in the channel update and we see what we can do. So the first goal was to make 31 videos in July. Fail, right? I got about half of that. So 18 videos instead of 31. Okay, yeah, whatever. You know, it would have been nice to make it. Second goal was with Tabletop Wargaming to really kind of increase the production of series, of the Let's Plays, of the gameplay demos and stuff like that. So and the sessions and stuff like that. Because those I think are I really enjoy the most about making tabletop wargaming videos. It's really to dig in and play the game and tell the story of that game. Finish the Nevsky series was goal number 1, and that was a success. Then I wanted to make an advanced squad leader series. Didn't even get started on that. I'm going to talk a little bit about this. Kind of been thinking about this, and I'm wondering if people might have some ideas or suggestions on how to work this, because I'll share it in a minute. But didn't do that, and I was hoping to start a 3rd series, but I didn't get to that either. I also put up a poll in the last one about what game would people like me to see me play, and we had 4 contenders. D-Day at Omaha Beach was by far and away the winner. I think it garnered close to 50% of the votes among the 4 candidates. So at some point, that will be the next game where I can kind of pick which game to play. That's going to be the next game I want to bring to the tabletop in terms of creating a series for that. Then the last goal was, 3rd goal was to create 3 tutorials for the driving, so for American Truck Simulator or Euro Truck Simulator. Failed at that one too. So didn't do very well on our goals for the channel last month. But all in all, still, I'm pretty happy with how things went. Okay, so that's where things were. Now I want to talk a little bit about kind of a couple things I've been thinking about, and then we're going to set the goals for this month. So first of all, one thing I'm thinking about, I've been chatting with some people on Discord about this a little bit as well, and people bringing it up, is that balance between, so when you're creating content, right, the thing that's going through my head is there's videos that are good to make for the channel, okay? And then there's the video I want to make right now, right? Now, ideally, those 2 things overlap, right? And it's not super binary. Like, even if it's like, okay, this is a video I should make for the channel. Maybe it's not a video I want to make right now, but I'm still going to have fun making it. But there's still that balance, I think, whenever I'm trying to figure out what to make for the channel, of figuring out, you know, a lot of times what's best for the channel isn't necessarily the video I want to make right away on that day. And so the question is to try to find how to find a balance between those things that are good for the channel and those things that I really want to make on that particular day. And let me give you some example. For example, tutorials for games or kind of teaching plays often are really good for attracting people to watch the channel. And if you play, however, Let's Plays and game sessions might be a little bit less so, especially with things like American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator, for example. The tutorials are really good to make. However, I really like making the game sessions and the Let's Play sessions, and I kind of like making the tutorials. So a lot of times it's like, well, I should make a tutorial, but I want to just go for a drive, and I end up going to go for a drive. Likewise with tabletop war games, like a newer game that's just out is better to make for the channel, right? Because usually there's a lot of new interest in newer games. And even like someone commented, I think it was Ardwolf's Lair commented on making a video for D-Day at Omaha Beach, where he said there's tons of videos out there for it already. So when you're looking for creating like a tabletop wargaming video, you probably want to create one. It's generally better for your channel to create one on a game that doesn't have many videos already, and less desirable to make that. But oftentimes that could be a conflict because I really want to play D-Day at Omaha Beach, but I probably should play something else, kind of thing. And then there's other things that come in, like when review copies come in, I want to give those priority and things like that. So it feels, and what I'm kind of getting at is I feel like a little bit over the past month and a half, I've shifted a little bit too much into playing what I feel like I should, creating videos that I feel like I should make, and drifting a little bit away from creating videos that I want to make. Now, I don't want to do one or the other. That's not the case, right? The case is always finding a balance kind of thing like that. But if there's other content creators out there or people watching this and kind of can relate to this in other ways or have ideas and thoughts, I'd be curious to hear what people think about it. And in particular, one thing that I have thought about is I know that there's some like longer series that I'd like to make. And generally, if I've been looking at like the content that I've created for longer series, once you get to about like 9 or 10 videos, probably like 8 or 9 videos on the same game, like the amount of interest in it drops off a lot, right? So like the first 5 or 6 videos could get, just pick a number. Say the first 5 or 6 videos get like 1,000. The first one always gets the most, but the first 5 or 6 videos get like 1,000 each. By the time you get to like number 10 or 11, it's down probably to like 300 or 400, probably like a third or a sixth of what the first one is. Not always like that. Like the Hunter series, the Hunters stayed pretty high all the way across. But most of the time, if you're making something long, the video views go down. But there's some really longer series that I want to make, right? I'd like to make a big, long, like a 20 video series. So how do you balance all that kind of stuff out is what I've been thinking about. And for the next month, for August, what I've decided I want to do is to try to kind of find a better balance between that video I want to make on that particular day and that video I probably should make for the channel. And with that in mind, I've decided I want to actually create a schedule for when I'm going to create videos and what types of videos I'm going to create. And so for my balance, kind of thinking about it, my balance for August, I want to make 10 tabletop wargaming videos, 6 PC strategy game videos, 2 other videos, and one would be like a channel update or something like that. 7 American Truck Simulator videos because Montana comes out tomorrow as I make this, probably today as this goes live. 2 Euro Truck Simulator videos, so kind of cut back on those to make more for American Truck Simulator, and then 3 SnowRunner videos. So I kind of got this tab, and I've kind of put together a rough schedule, so I think I'm actually going to start publishing a schedule as to what the goals will be for that week, and it's going to be very fluid, right? So if I say something might be on Tuesday, I might end up flip-flopping the Tuesday or the Wednesday, but I think that will help me get a little bit of balance over all the games that I know I want to play and cover for a month, and yet leave some flexibility. So I might know this is a wargaming video, but I'm not specifically going to talk about which exact game it would be or what video it would be. So I want to try to put a little bit of rough structure on my kind of planning to see if that actually helps. So that's one thing I've been thinking about. The second thing I've been thinking about, and I'm wondering if people might have an idea for this. So what happens, and this is about tabletop wargaming, when I create a tabletop wargaming video, what I've noticed is as soon as I finish a series, so like with Nevsky, I finish the series, then I shift to the next game. And here's where the problem lies. I've usually already read the rule book for the next game, but generally before I can start shooting a video for a game, I need to play through the whole thing at least once. So what happens is I clear the table off from Nevsky, I pull out the next game, I kind of start playing a learning game, and that could take me anywhere from like 3 to 5 days, depending on how much time I have to devote to the game at any one period of time, before I finally I get to a point where okay, now I'm comfortable to start shooting some video for this game. The problem that creates is that it creates this big gap between ending one game and starting a new game. So I got to figure out some way to end one series ready to play the next series. I think what it means is that I have to figure out how to get another wargaming table in the house. But if I wander around the house and look at the different wargaming opportunities for space, there really isn't much there. So I need some ideas on how I can transition. Maybe Vassal? I just thought of this now. Maybe Vassal would be a good idea, right? So I could play a learning scenario with Vassal while I'm recording the other game. Anyway, if you have thoughts other than Vassal, maybe, or something like that, let me know what you think. So the idea is that transition faster from one series to the next series, because right now there's this lag of about a week between series, and then I lose momentum, and that sometimes can make it longer and stuff like that as well. So I'd be interested to hear people's thoughts on that. Those are the things that have been bouncing around in my head. Now, let's talk a little bit now about goals for the upcoming month. So goal number 1 is I want to try again. August, I've got a good bit of downtime from work in August because I'm technically it's going to be on like a 50% load for the month of August. So I've got some time here. So I want to try to make 30 videos in August. That's goal number 1. Goal number 2 is to publish that schedule and roughly stick to the schedule's balance, not necessarily the day-to-day timing of it, but that balance over the course of the month. Goal number 3, I realized I don't have. So I need to make it up now. I'll be right back. Okay, I've been pondering. Actually, I did have goal number 3. I just forgot what it was. Goal number 3 is to figure out that tabletop wargaming balance and flow and how I can transition to cut down the transition time between one video series to the next video series. Help would be appreciated. So there's our 3 goals. We'll come back at the beginning of September and check to see how we did for the August goals. Also, as always, a super big thank you to our Patreon subscribers. If you'd like to join that group, I'll put them over here. If you'd like to join that group, there's a link down below. Patreon support is always greatly appreciated. Thank you as well to all the new subscribers. Thank you as well to all the people who have been commenting on videos and watching videos and encouraging and all that kinds of things. Again, I think the social aspect of this thing has been the thing that, and I say this over and over, it's probably like a broken record, but the social fun of this has been the greatest part of this adventure that I didn't expect whatsoever. So thank you as always for your support and your views. We will be back in a month to do another channel update, and looking forward to a great and fun August. And I hope everybody has a marvelous rest of this hot summer month, and we'll see you in a little while. Bye-bye. Take care.